All right, everybody, welcome. This is Brent from Enter Your Wealth, and I'm so happy that you're here today because I'm unleashing my ultimate beginner Crabada battle game guide. I know, kind of a mouthful, but it is what it is. And actually, this Medium article is not even released yet, so the YouTube video will come out first, so I can put it back into the Medium article. So, you know, I'm calling this the Enter Your Wealth FOMO Flavor of the Month Cookie Cutter Composition, also known as EF2C3. This is just a video for the article in case the people want to read it. All right, so I'm basically gonna kind of read through this and kind of give a little bit more detail on what I mean by everything here. All right, so have crabs been on your mind? No. Well, guess what? There's a new PvP game in Crabada called the Battle Game that'll certainly change how you feel about crabs. It's the premier idle battler that's gonna make me very rich. Well, I hope so, at least, you know, please. But don't fret, that's why my tag is Enter Your Wealth. I'm here to share with my friends, without further ado, the Enter Your Wealth Ultimate Beginner Crabada Battle Game Guide to a game that has not yet come out yet. In this guide, I'll assume you know nothing of Crabada and we'll be breaking it down from the beginning, setup, into you becoming a crab battler extraordinaire. As a preface, you're gonna have to buy TUS, which is Treasure Under the Sea, the native coin or the secondary currency for Crabada. And that means you're gonna have to get money on Avalanche. I have all the links here on the Medium article. And then go to the Trader Joe DEX to swap for TUS. After this, you'll have to go to the Crabada marketplace. So once we go to the Crabada marketplace, and we can even click this right now. So in the Crabada marketplace, actually what we're gonna do right off the bat, and I have this in that picture there, is you're just gonna go straight to purity, change to 6, set up gem, prime, and ruined. These are the only 3 classes that are kind of viable, and we're running a 1 tank 2 DPS. So this is what you have to do, and then we'll be scouring these and I'll show you how you would actually look into this. So there are 8 classes in Crabada composed of 3 tanks, Surge, Bulk Gem, 3 DPS, Craboid, Prime, Ruined, and 2 supports Organic Sunken. 2 supports Organic Sunken. So as we saw in that video, or as I just did in the marketplace, you saw that I filtered out everything but 3s, meaning that these other ones don't matter. But I'll say this, all tanks are usable and are the least important when building composition, but my favorite tank is the gem class, and we'll go in depth why later. So I think gem is actually the best tank for a few reasons, mainly having to do with factional advantage, and we'll go into why that is later. Out of the DPS, Ruined and Prime outshine Craboid in damage, so we'll filter out Craboids. So Craboids, just not cutting it. Lastly, supports are useless, so we'll filter them out completely. The composition will use a 1 tank and 2 DPS, or 1 gem, 1 ruined, and prime respectively. Crabs have 2 abilities which correspond to 2 separate body parts on the crab. Every other body parts can be more or less ignored. These 2 body parts are the pincers and eyes. The pincers dictate the charged ability, which does a percentage of the attack of your crab, while the eye dictates your passive proc ability, which comes in a buff or debuff to your crabs. Long story short, we're simply choosing the crabs with pincer abilities that have the highest percentage damage or supplemental eye utility, and that serves the most beneficial proc. Here are the candidates. So I made this little image. It's not really that easy to see, but we'll go into the marketplace here and I'll show you exactly what we're looking for. So specifically here, and these are links directly into the white paper. I've included as many links as I can here, so please use them. These are the only viable pincers and eyes for DPS. So the prime pincers. So as I said, there's 2 classes, prime and ruined, that we're looking at, and we're either looking for the avalanche or ether pincers. Next, eyes, we're looking for Cardano, Bitcoin, and avalanche. So it is easy to find each one of these separately, but together, getting any one of these is going to be a little bit more difficult. In the marketplace, we'll see how this comes to fruition. So I'll show you how we can find this, and maybe even in the marketplace, there'll be one that's undervalued, and I'll tell you if it is. Right now, the crabs are really cheap relative. They're not that expensive currently, especially with the catalyst on the horizon. So the rune pincers that we're looking at is Crombie, Kraler, and Kragon. So you can see these are actually the ones that you see here. And it's these specific eyes that you're looking for. or the claws. So the claws belong here. The runes are pretty straightforward. For some reason they made the 3 good here. On this one there's at least the Cardano and Ether that you can see in Bitcoin Avalanche. So I said you can mix this as fits your strategy of speculation. If you read all the abilities, it'll be self-evident while they are chosen. Okay, so let's go to the marketplace really quick. And we do have these filters, but we're not going to use the gem right now because currently we're just looking at the DPS, right? So we have the Purity 6 set, and now we will look. So we can see right here, right off the bat, this one has the Kragon pincers and Kraler eyes, right? So this is actually a good buy. Oh wait, no, it's this one. This is a good buy in my opinion. As you see here, Kragon and Kraler eyes. So the Kraler eyes, it's a damage buff. So this is actually an undervalued one right here. So this person who listed this is, I don't know why they listed this one. This is actually a really good buy right here. You see it's the pincers and the eyes that we're mainly looking at here. Everything else doesn't matter as much. As you can see, we don't even see any other Kragons. This is definitely a buy right here. You're not seeing very many Kragon pincers. So here we actually see, this is the Crombie hand, Crombie pincers here. So this is also one we're looking for, but you see we have the skull eyes. So the skull eyes are actually useless of these. So Runed is actually undervalued a little bit more than the primes. The primes are a little bit hyped already. So we can see some of the prime, and I've been studying this a little bit more so I can kind of tell. So these are the Ethereum, or the Ether claw, but it has a chain link eyes, so they suck, right? So that's what I was saying earlier again, just a reminder. So not really much more, you're just trying to find the ones that match, but I do want to show you a specific combination. So these are the Avalanche hands, these are one of the premier ones as well. So it's either Avalanche or the other ones, right? So that one in the beginning is really undervalued, by the way, so you skip that one up. Finding the good eyes here. Okay, so these are one of the eyes I want to mention, which is the Bitcoin eyes. So the Bitcoin eyes actually does a stun. So if you're running like a stun build, meaning both of your passive abilities are stun, you may want to go with the Bitcoin eye or have 1 Bitcoin because it makes you skip 1 turn, and that's quite good. This one's not a bad buy right here. This is the Avalanche claws with the Bitcoin eyes. I called the Cardano eyes being super expensive, and as you can see, there are no Cardano eyes even on the market that we've seen so far. I see some Ethereum and Bitcoin. This is not bad, but these are starting to get more expensive, as you can see, and you can't even find an Avalanche yet. So basically, if you're going on the marketplace, you're just looking to snipe here. As I said, there is a good snipe on here right now, actually, which is this one right here. So good luck getting that one. Alright, so let's talk a little bit more. The eyes proc either boost damage by 25%, 30%, or stun the enemy, which makes the enemy skip a turn. This is the Bitcoin eye that I was talking about. The only unique last stand eye ability we see is with the Crombie, which gives them this ability that the HP cannot be reduced below 1 for 2 turns, which may be overpowered. So that belongs here to the Crombie. The Crombie eye is this little tag thing. So if you do find a Crombie eye, it'll probably be a little bit more expensive, but potentially this might be the most overpowered eye ability in the game. Just because if he survives last, he might just be able to win with these extra 2 turns. But it's hard to say if this will be better than actually just doing a proc that gives it 30% more damage or not. Okay. So let's go to the tanks. You're either picking the Surge class for having the highest tank battle stats in the game, or Gem class, which the combination of pincer belonging to the punny Earl Cray, and either the Cramethus or Cranet for eyes. The Earl Cray pincers ability buffs the entire team for 35% increased damage for 1 attack. Coupled with Primer Runed, you know the intention behind this build. I'm just saying here that we're going for just like a buff damage build, and it's just gonna do a lot of damage, tons of damage. Cramethus eye procs puts up a shield of 20%, and Cranet gives 30% armor. Nothing special, but these are better than the other options. So we'll go on the marketplace looking for these 2. So I'll uncheck these. So what I was saying before, doesn't matter too much about these. Oh, okay, so this is one right off the bat here. You can see that we have, these are the Earl Cray hands right here, and then the Cranet eyes. So this is not a bad one. I did mention that we have the Cranite and the Cramathyst. So the Cramathyst is the better of the two. So we can see if we can find one of those. I don't think we will. So there's another Earl Cray. These Earl Crays might be a little bit undervalued because I don't think people know that the Earl Cray is this valuable yet. So we only had those one. So you can actually build 2 out of the 3 of this competition currently, meaning people are really sleeping on this. Yep, not showing up here. So you can see like people already kind of understand a little bit of what is the most valuable. But this one I believe is more marginal of a thing. You can totally get by with that first one. I think is completely fine, and it is what I have. So you don't even see it on. So it's not, there's not even one on the marketplace. Okay, so pincer attack abilities and mechanics. There are 2 types of attacks, normal attacks and the aforementioned pincer attack ability. So the pincer attack ability is a charged ability. This pincer ability attacks can only be used when the crab bar is filled. It is filled in 3 ways, so these are just kind of the mechanics. Using normal attacks fills proportional to the crab's speed. So based on the crab's speed, it'll fill a certain amount from its attack. The DPS are about the same, basically. Getting hit by any attack fills 25, and getting a critical hit fills 50. This goes to the white paper. It basically says what I just said here. So the skill bar is completely filled at 150. So it means that, you know, you probably have to get a few attacks in before you can actually use your skill in most cases. All right, so this is what I was talking about before, factional advantage. I just talked here about how you can go here for some of the stat mechanics. And if you want to understand things that are what goes into the actual damage calculations. And this is a nice little graph showing you kind of the stat breakdown. No idle battler is complete without adding a rock, paper, scissors super effective mechanic. This is just a throw to like Pokemon. In Crabada, it's known as factional advantage to try to add balance to the more OP crabs. Individual crabs have a 15% damage boost against a crab. It has a factional advantage over, as our composition is composed of 2 Lux and 1 Abyss. Our weakness is to Fairies and Trench. So this comes from Prime and Gem, and Abyss is our Ruined. So you can see we are actually good against Fairies here, which covers our other one. So that's one thing that's really good. So even if we went against a Fairy comp, we'd be good. The one thing we're worried about Trench, but we have an Abyss that counters a Trench, so it's not bad there either. And what I say here is that our worst matchups, which is the Fairy attacking our Abyss or the Trench attacking the Lux, these are actually the 2 worst abilities, which are the supports of the game, the Organic and Sunken, which further beckons the question, is this the best cookie cutter build ever? Is it unstoppable? Until they nerf me, but better companies have tried. I posted a link of Riot Games right here. One thing to point out is that the Aura faction hosts Bulk and Surge, and most competitions will have at least 1 Prime, making the case for Gem is probably the best tank. So I was saying that if you go Surge, you're just gonna take a lot more damage from Lux. So I really don't know if Surge or Bulk will even be viable. I really think it's this composition and only this composition. Formation rules. This is just not much to go here, just attack priority. So front line goes and attacks first before back line, and will prioritize front line, and then it will prioritize the same row in the line that it's in. So this one will attack this one will attack this one, and then lastly, it will go top to bottom if one of these dies. There's some examples in the white paper here. And then we have the turn order. So who attacks first, team with the highest cell speed attacks first, crab with the highest speed on that team attacks first, and then frontline crabs attack first. There you go. So remember, always do your own research. This is just my opinion, although I do have a lot of evidence supporting why this will be the best composition. This is not financial advice. Thanks so much for reading, and you can follow this Medium article. I'll put it in the description. And if you found this valuable, consider joining the GameFi NFT Discord. The link will also be here, and follow me on Twitter and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.